Cheevo, guys!
What up, guys? This is
Cheevo, guys!
back here again with another achievement guide. Today, we're going to be focusing on Robozarro. This game was published by EastAsiaSoft and it was developed by Frozen Flame Interactive. This is going to be an easy 30-minute to 1 hour completion or platinum trophy, and on top of that, it's only $6.99. So let's go ahead and dive into the game, guys. So this is a 2D side-scroller action game with twin-stick shooter controls. This game is going to start off with some dialogue. You can skip through the dialogue by pressing Y. You can even go into the options and speed up the text speed. However, the text speed doesn't really matter ultimately if you're skipping it with Y, so just go ahead and skip through it with Y. Once you gain control of your character, we're going to be unlocking our first achievement or trophy for finding our first junk. We can do that by opening up a garbage can. You want to interact with all of the garbage cans that you see because ultimately we need to collect 30 pieces of junk. You can interact by pressing Y. Besides that, you're going to keep walking over to the left until you see the building that says Fix and Chips. We're going to walk all the way over to the pickup counter and we're going to interact with Y. He's going to go grab you an item off of the counter and he's going to give it to you. That's going to unlock our next achievement. That one's worth 60 gamer score called Hey Fix. That one is for talking to Fix. So now that we got those two achievements out of the way, we can go ahead and dive into the first level or the main part of the game. To do that, you need to go talk to the chief. He's standing on top of a box. Again, you can fast forward through the dialogue by pressing Y, which is the interact button. After you're done talking to him, the floor is going to open and we're going to jump inside. Now, as you can see, we do not have a weapon quite yet. However, we're about to pick one up and that will come with an achievement. Now, when we drop down, if we look over to the left, there's a TV sitting on like a mobile cart. That is the little tutorial stations. So you'll see these throughout the game and you can interact with them and they'll teach you different tutorial lessons. So in this instance, it's saying that we could blow up the yellow doors. However, we do not have our first weapon quite yet. So we could double jump to get onto these platforms. And once we get on top of the top platform, we're going to interact with the red button. That's going to open it up and we're going to be able to interact with it to grab our first weapon. That is going to be another achievement worth 80 gamer score called Pew Pew Pew. You can also interact with that We Love Junk station to get an achievement. However, you're going to have to spend some of your junk to buy something. I end up interacting with one of those kiosks later in the game, I think coming up here shortly. So you can either interact with that one, or if you miss it, they have these kiosks all over the place. So you'll end up running into one eventually. Just make sure to use one at least once. Now we also have an achievement or trophy for breaking 4 of those yellow walls. So far we have 2 of the 4. These circular enemies that keep shooting us, these are called the sewer drones, and we get an achievement or a trophy for defeating 5 of them. So make sure that you shoot them down when you see them. You're going to do that either way because they'll keep shooting you until you die. Luckily, the checkpoints in this game are pretty forgiving. If you die, it just starts you back at the beginning of the last section of the level, not completely at the beginning of the level. Now, we're about to be introduced to the spider drone enemies, and these are spawned by that device on the upper right hand side of the screen. So as you can see, if I shoot them, they're just going to respawn. Now we do have an achievement related to killing 10 of these robo spiders, so just make sure that you kill at least 10 of them because that achievement is worth 80 gamer score. Now what we want to do is double jump to this platform up here and we'll be able to shoot the device that is spawning these robo spiders from that platform. So just know that anytime you see some of these robo spiders, you want to kill the device that's spawning them because it's a never-ending cycle of robo spiders. After you kill the device that is spawning the robo spiders, we can go ahead and jump down. Just try to run over to the right and get a head start on them so you can start shooting them before they get right to you. And if they start walking up to you or get close, you're going to have to jump over them and just keep running to the left. So we went ahead and wiped out all of those robo spiders. We're going to interact with that lever or that battery mechanism. By the way, for those battery mechanisms, you need to find the battery to be able to interact with those. So in some instances or some sections of these levels, you'll have to find the battery to be able to interact with those switches, and usually those switches lead to the end of the section or end of the level. So just make sure that if you see a battery, you collect it. You also want to make sure that you keep collecting those screws. They have like a baby blue outline. That is the quote-unquote junk in the game. And again, there is an achievement or trophy related to collecting 30 of them. So make sure that you do that. Now, at this part of the game, we are able to collect 3 grenades. They are hidden in that crate. If you collect them, you can press B to throw one, and we get an achievement for throwing our first grenade. However, I would save the rest because we're going to end up facing a boss sooner or later, and it's a lot easier if you have grenades handy. Now, I want to keep an eye out for those sewer drones or sewer turrets because I think I have 4 out of the 5 needed for the achievement. Let's see here. Okay, cool. So there's one right there and one to the left. So I'm going to keep shooting these, and I should be getting the achievement for defeating 5 of those. Yep, alright, sweet. So we got that achievement that's worth 80 gamer score called ICU for destroying 5 sewer turrets. Even though you got that achievement, you still want to make sure that you keep destroying all of these turrets anytime you see them, just because they'll keep shooting you, until you're dead. So you want to get them out of the way. So we're going to interact with that battery mechanism, and we are going to move on to the next part of the level. So if you fall into this slime, no worries. The checkpoint is just at that door that we just came in from. So again, the checkpoints are pretty forgiving. The double jump in between these platforms is kind of hard to pull off. So if you end up in the slime, just make sure that you double jump right away to get on top of the platform. You may end up dying here, but you'll end up getting it eventually. It is possible to do that double jump, but again, it's pretty hard to pull off. Now, as you can see, we have the We Love Junk kiosk up here to the left. I'm going to use it this time. The first time that we seen it, I actually had skipped it, so we're going to interact with it, and you can use your junk to purchase any of the following upgrades or items. So I'm just going to use it to purchase some health, and that's going to unlock an achievement worth 80 gamer score called Pawn Star. Now we're going to go ahead and go through the exit and proceed to the boss battle or mini boss battle. Now, to defeat this boss, what we need to do is shoot the spikes on the roof. If you shoot the spikes on the roof, they will fall and hopefully hit the boss. You want to time it correctly so that they fall on top of the boss. This is going to do the most damage. I don't think shooting him does any damage at all, so you're going to have to defeat him with the spikes. We're actually going to be using this method to defeat all of the bosses in this playthrough. All of the bosses we face will have spikes above them, and you want to shoot the spikes and make sure that they fall down and hit the boss, and eventually you will defeat the boss. So as you can see, that boss is wiped out. But again, that's just a mini boss. That's not actually the sewer boss that we're going to get an achievement for defeating. So we're going to move on to the next section of the sewer level and just keep destroying these sewer turrets. You want to shoot them from a distance. If you get too close, they'll start shooting you, and then by the time you get through this little maze, you're not going to have very much life once you get to the bottom. So just shoot them from a distance, and eventually you will destroy them, just because ultimately you have a better shooting distance than they do. You have to get pretty close to them for them to trigger to start shooting you. So go ahead and keep your distance. That'll get you through that section of this level, and then you're going to drop down. We're going to interact with the red button, and here we are going to be awarded with our next gadget, and that is going to be the claw. That's going to give us the Go-Go Gadget achievement for 80 gamer score, and the way that we use this is with the X button. Now, just a heads up, you cannot aim the grappling hook in any specific direction. It simply shoots straight above you. However, once you're grappled and you're hanging from the roof, you can swing from side to side and even lower yourself. Now, feel free to interact with these little TV sets along the way, guys. They will teach you how to play the game. However, I'm trying to do that for you. That way you don't have to be interacting with all of these little tutorial TV sets. Luckily, we do not need to beat the whole game to get the full completion or platinum trophy. We just need to beat the sewer world or the sewer level. But again, these levels are broken down into a bunch of mini levels. So ultimately, I don't know how many worlds or levels the game has, but I'm sure we're not even beating half of the game. Now, I think that was the third yellow sewer wall that I just destroyed, so I should be getting my achievement once I destroy this next sewer wall. So keep an eye out for that one. I think that achievement is worth 80 gamer score as well. Again, you want to shoot these sewer drones from a distance, just because if you get too close, you're just going to end up in a shootout with them, and sometimes that doesn't end too well. So we went ahead and completed that section. We're going to grapple all the way up here, and we have our 4th yellow sewer wall. So we're going to destroy that. You don't have to do it from way up there, guys. It took me a while to figure out that you could lower yourself. I think around this area is when I figured it out, but I got that achievement for destroying 4 yellow sewer doors. That one was worth 80 gamer score. Now we are going to be collecting one more weapon in our playthrough. Again, we're not doing a full playthrough. This is just the achievement or trophy playthrough. We're going to be collecting the grab and blast. You want to walk up and interact, and we'll go ahead and equip it. You can hold L to pop up your pinwheel for selecting your weapons and gadgets. Eventually, once you have collected a couple gadgets and weapons, it's going to get a bit complicated, and if you're trying to figure out why you can't use your grappling hook, it's because more than likely you don't have it equipped. So again, hold left trigger to pop up the pinwheel for all of your weapons and gadgets. So you want to grapple up here. We're going to grab all of these boxes and just throw them out of the way because we need to activate both of these switches. To do this, you're going to have the grab and blast and the grappling hook equipped at the same time. Honestly, these are the two weapons that I would recommend just having equipped moving forward, because the grab and blast also shoots a projectile, and I think it's more powerful than our original weapon, so no need to really equip that first weapon that we collected anymore, just because again we have the grab and blaster that we can shoot people with, and then we need our grappling hook to proceed through a lot of these levels. After you move that purple block out of the way, you want to shoot it. You're going to shoot the wire with your blaster, and that's going to drop the purple block, and it's going to press our switch and open the exit door. We're going to walk through, and the first thing you're going to notice is some robo spiders. We can't really worry about killing their spawn station quite yet. Also, you can grab these with the grab and blast. You can grab the drones, guys, and you can throw them into the wall or throw them into each other. So you can grab one drone and throw it into the next drone. It's pretty cool to do that sometimes. Now we want to press all 3 switches here on the upper left. You're not going to personally be able to press the one farthest to the left, so just shoot the rope or vine. The block will drop, and it will drop on the 3rd switch. This is going to open the area to the upper right hand side. Now we can see where those spiders are spawning from. Now we're not going to be able to destroy that mothership quite yet, just because it has like some plasma guarding it or some electricity guarding it, whatever you want to call that barrier. So you have to move the purple blocks to the right, and then we have to get up over this switch and go interact with it. This is going to turn off that shield, and we'll be able to destroy the mothership for these little spider drones. After you defeat the mothership, we can go down and destroy the remaining spiders. Eventually we're going to have to interact with that battery door, but we do not have the battery quite yet. You could try to shoot the spiders from up above if you can. Just get like a corner snipe on them kind of thing. As you can see, the battery that we need to activate that battery mechanism is up to the upper left hand side. But first I'm going to collect this junk here to the right, just because again we're trying to collect 30 junk total to get ourselves an achievement or trophy. After you get yourself to the upper left hand side and you collect that yellow battery, we can go back over to this battery mechanism, activate it. It's going to eliminate the barrier. We can go ahead and grab that drone and throw it. Not sure what's in this box right here. I'm gonna check just in case there's some grenades. Nope, no grenades. So we're gonna go ahead and exit. Now I think I forgot to mention there is an achievement related to grabbing 20 items and throwing them with your grab and blast. So you just want to make sure that you're continuously grabbing drones and enemies and items and throwing them, and eventually you're going to get yourself an achievement for throwing 20 items with your grab and blast. That'll unlock the grab and blast achievement for another 80 gamer score. Now we're getting pretty close to getting this full completion or platinum trophy, guys. Pretty much what's going to happen here is we're going to face a little mini boss, and then we're going to face the actual sewer boss. After we defeat that boss, we're going to get an achievement or a trophy, and then we will just have to play a little bit longer until we get introduced to the next enemy. These enemies are called mini bots, and we need to kill 10 of them for our last achievement or trophy. What you can actually do is just kill the first few in the beginning of the level and then die. It'll respawn you, and then you just can kill them over again, and you just rinse and repeat until you get 10 of them killed successfully, and that will give us our full completion or platinum trophy. Now with this little construction guy, this mini boss before the sewer boss, you're gonna find that he doesn't really take that much damage. I should have shot the spikes above him, and I probably could have killed him a lot faster. So just know that there is some spikes above him, and you could shoot those to drop down and kill him much faster. Now I kind of messed up here. I could have made it just a little bit easier for myself. You can interact with that We Love Junk machine and buy some grenades before you face this boss. I forgot to interact with the machine, and once you go through, even if you die, it's going to spawn you right into this boss battle, so you won't be able to have a chance to interact with that We Love Junk kiosk again. So if you want some extra grenades, just make sure that you interact with it before you face this boss. Now in terms of facing the boss, I don't think the bullets or projectiles do any damage to the boss itself. The easiest way to defeat this boss is actually to use the grab and blast and grab the spikes from the roof and throw them directly into the boss. You can actually also grab the chunks of slime at the bottom. You can grab those with the grab and blast and throw them at the boss as well. I don't know why, but I felt like the chunks of slime did even more damage than the spikes. So when you go down, grab some slime. When you go up, grab some spikes. Eventually you're going to run out of the spikes, but I think the chunks of slime are endless. You know, once you take one, another one will end up spawning. After we defeat the boss, we're going to get an achievement for defeating the sewer boss that is worth 80 gamer score, called Get Chunky. So we pretty much have most of the completion here, guys. Again, all we need to do is kill 10 of the next enemy type. That's going to be the mini robot. We're going to be introduced to this enemy right when we start the next world or chapter, whatever you want to call it. Pretty much when we start off, we're just going to grapple up. You're going to go over to the right hand side. We just want to walk into the little trailer that says Rotec. We're going to talk to the gentleman inside. His name is Foreman, or maybe he's just a foreman. But after you talk to him, again, you can fast forward through this dialogue by pressing the interact button, which is Y, or triangle if you're playing PS4. After you talk to him, we can walk over to the left. The barrier should have been opened now. You can press the red button to grab the next gadget or weapon. It's going to be the Mega Charge. We're not going to be using this at all. I'm not too sure how to use it or anything like that. I was just trying to get this last achievement. But again, you're going to need to hold the left trigger to pop up the pinwheel to make sure that you equip both of the weapons that we're used to. Again, that's going to be our main weapon, which is either going to be just your machine gun or your grab and blast, and then your grappling hook. Most importantly, you just want to make sure that your grappling hook is equipped, just because we're not going to be able to advance upward without it. Now we're going to run into one of these big blocks. It took me a while to figure out what to do with this thing. You actually need to equip your Mega Blast, or I'm sorry, your Grab and Blast, and you just want to shoot it with your Grab and Blast, and that will end up moving the big block. Now, once we jump up to this next platform, we're going to be introduced to these saw blades. You can actually grab these saw blades with your Grab and Blast and shoot them. You can shoot them into the wall, and you can even shoot them into rope or chain to cut the rope or chain. We're going to be doing that in just a minute. I'm going to grab this piece of junk right here because I think I actually still need the achievement or trophy for collecting 30 junk. Probably could have got it by now, but I probably, wasn't grabbing all of the junk that I could have. Just know that eventually, again, you're going to need to collect at least 30 junk total. Now, as you can see, we cannot proceed downward. What we're going to have to do is actually use the Grab and Blast to grab one of those saw blades to cut one of these chains. You'll know that if you interact with this computer right here. Again, that's the advantage of interacting with those little computers or TV sets. So grab the saw blade, throw it into the chains supporting the platform with the grab and blast. And then once you walk into this little trailer or truck trailer, you're going to be introduced to that enemy that I mentioned before. These are the mini robots. There's 3 down, we need 7 more to go. Now we're gonna wait till we get to our next checkpoint, but eventually what you could do is just die, respawn, and face these enemies over again, because they are cumulative over your deaths, so you don't necessarily need to get 10 without dying or anything like that. Now right here, forgive me, ignore what I'm doing here. I don't know why I was trying to double jump off this platform. I totally forgot I have a freaking grappling hook. So use the grappling hook to get to the above platforms. You're going to want to interact with this big lever right here. That's going to open up another platform. You can go ahead and use the grab and blast to throw the enemies into each other. You're going to walk over to the right hand side, and we just want to drop down. You don't necessarily need to kill these turrets hanging from the roof. There is no achievement or trophy related to doing so. I probably just could have avoided a shootout and saved some life if I just would have dropped down. There we go. I got my achievement called I Love Junk for 80 gamer score for collecting 30 junk. Again, those are the little bolts or screws that have the baby blue outline. So this is the checkpoint that I mentioned earlier. Once you get to this checkpoint, you're going to shoot some of these mini robots, and at this point you can either choose to keep proceeding through the level and just make sure that you shoot 10 of them, or you could simply die, restart at the checkpoint, and then just kill the handful of them once again, and you'll end up getting 10 total, and you'll get your full completion or platinum trophy. As you can see, I died, respawned, killed a few, and I got my last achievement called Broken Bots for killing 10 mini bots. That gives us our full 1000 gamer score, guys. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe.